Hello, this is Devinator, no L, Castronomical, and you're tuning into Devinator's radio show. For the week leading up to Halloween, I will be telling you 3 scary stories every day. But make sure you listen to what we're doing on Halloween night, because we're going to be interviewing 3 lucky people about any scary stories they might have. The first story we have here is called The Burglar. There's this burglar, this guy, right? He would go around breaking into people's homes and stealing the stuff. That's what a burglar is. He would usually pick old people or women or people who live alone, like he knew their routine and couldn't defend themselves. He would stalk them to get to know the routine, just park outside the house. And he did that with this one man, very old man. And he knew he lived alone. He would, once every while, he would just stalk him. But every time he would stalk him, he never saw the old man leave his house. He only saw him once, and that was when he first stalked him. A month goes by, and he has yet to see the old man. But he sees that the old man's car is parked out front. He thinks that since the old man is old, he's dead. So he breaks in through a window. He enters the living room, and everything is dark. He has a flashlight on him, and that's the only source of light throughout the whole house. And he smells something bad, like something really, really bad. So he goes into the living room, and he sees the old man's rotting corpse on the couch. Unfazed by this, he sees it as a perfect opportunity to steal whatever he can carry. So he goes around stealing trinkets, electronics, novelties, anything that seems valuable. He leaves the place and he goes to sell it at pawn shops, the black market, goes whatever, makes some money. A week passes, and he notices that nobody figured out that there was a corpse in the man's house, that the man was dead. He sees this as another opportunity to break back in and steal everything that's left. So he goes in at night and goes in the same way he came before. But he goes into the living room, but he doesn't see the corpse. He hears a voice from behind him saying, "Now I take something from you." Our next story is a story called Devin Ate Her, which sounds kind of like Devinator, but I don't know who this Devin fellow is. He sounds unhinged. Anyways, this guy named Devin and a girl went on a camping trip in Yosemite. It's a national park in California. And during the first day there, they were hiking around, walking. And they see that it's raining. They can feel it. And it starts raining pretty heavily. So they seek shelter in a cave. They go into the cave, and they stay there for a little while. And it's still raining. So they figure that, hey, we might as well just stay here for the night. And they do that. They can't set up their tents because the cave they're staying at is too rocky. So they just opt to use their sleeping bags instead. It becomes night. It's time for them to go sleep. So they do that. But the girl, she hears whispers from down the cave. And she gets a little frightened by this. She wakes up Devin and asks him if he's been hearing anything. He says, "No, let me sleep." So he goes back to sleep. And she eventually figures it's just the rain because it's still raining at this point. She goes back to sleep. But this time, she hears knocking from down in the cave. So she wakes them up again. "Do you hear that?" "No. Let me go back to sleep." She go back to sleep, and she figures she's being too paranoid. So she go back to sleep. Now, next time, she hears mumbling from Devin. So she asks him, "Are you okay?" He answers, "I'm hungry." Only one of them left that cave in the morning, and it was Devin. Our last story today is a story called The Boy in the Well. There was this boy. He lived in a small town. He was walking on the outskirts of town, kind of near the woods, but not too close to the woods, not directly in the woods. He was walking and he saw a well. It was a rundown well. It looks like nobody has even used it in years. decades even. Looked way older than the boy, and even the boy's father. He looked down and he saw just darkness. Like, the well went deep, like really deep. Like, he couldn't even see a bottom. He didn't even know if there was a bottom. But he has heard of stories say that if you throw a penny or a coin into a well and make a wish, the wish comes true. So he wishes for a remote control car, a little toy. He flips a penny that he has in his pocket inside the well. And when he gets home, his dad has a surprise for him. A remote control car. The boy loves it, and he figures that the only reason it came true was because of the well. So, the day after, he went back to the well. He flipped the penny in and thought, I want a puppy. A few days later, his dad comes to him with a gift. A puppy. The boy couldn't be happier. Now, for certain, he knows that the well works. Now, there was this bully who lived very close to where the boy lived. And the bully would obviously always bully the boy. And the boy hated him, just despised him. He wanted him gone. So, he figured that there's only one thing to do. He goes to the well and wishes for the boy gone. Flips a coin in. He never saw the bully again. But when he made a wish after the boy, he heard something down the well. He heard someone moving around, like in the water. It wasn't just water noises. It was someone splashing in there, and he heard talking, but he couldn't hear it because it was so deep. Now the boy was in school, and he had a teacher, and the teacher assigned a lot of work and a lot of homework, and the teacher was mean, always yelling at people. He was very strict, and the boy hated him. The boy hated the teacher. So, he had an idea. He goes to the well, throws a penny in, wishes for the teacher gone. The next school day, the teacher was nowhere to be found, and he got replaced by a better teacher. But from then on, whenever the boy made a wish, he heard more movement and more talking down there. Now, a few days later, he was getting cookies from the cookie jar when he wasn't supposed to. He ended up breaking the jar. His mom got mad at him and grounded him. And the boy was just furious. He was pissed off. So he went to the well and he wished for his mom gone. He wished for a new mom. His mom disappeared. The father wasn't too emotional about it. He wasn't worked up or anything because he's actually been cheating for a while. And now the boy has a stepmom. But after this, they move out of the town and they move somewhere else. But the boy made one last wish before he left. And he heard a lot of movement down the well. Years later, the boy returns to the town and the boy isn't a boy anymore. He's an adult. And he visits the well. The man saw a cat while walking down the street. A stray cat. So he tried to pet it. But the cat scratched him. And he started bleeding. He was very angry at that. So when he went to visit the well, he flipped a penny in and wished for the cat gone. A day later, he didn't see the cat anymore. It was gone. So he figured that he should move back into the town. Phew! Those stories got me sweating because how scary they were. Hope you liked those. Tune in next time to hear some more suspiciously scary stories. From Devinator, No L, Castronomical himself.